let me ask you about this regulation issue, because you've expressed a lot of concern about this all along, Carl. Regulation, the fact that the Fed has been so aggressive, the fact that nothing can get done in Washington, and you've been fearful about the future. You've been fearful about the lack of growth in our economy. How do you think that changes now with him in office?
Well, I think to begin with, business is really afraid to invest. The average CEO, on the one hand, he invests and he's up against the wall of, which I think in certain cases are absurd regulations, such as the EPA with this RIN program. It's completely insane. I mean, they want refineries to guarantee RINs, to be obligated, to blend a certain amount of ethanol, when nobody will buy the refineries' blended gasoline to begin with. And two, even if they would, the blend wall, if you will, what they demand that you must produce in ethanol,
so there's, making the energy industry
is over what the country can use. So you got almost a bit of an Alice in Wonderland quality in this, and this is why business is afraid to invest. Hey, look, I'm a guy. I got 10 companies, 15 companies. I like putting money into America. You know, sounds corny, but I really love America, and I'm reluctant in many cases to put money in. And you have it with other regulatory agencies too. I mean, there's some that are better than others. I'm not going to go into it now. I may in the future, but
So if you start to ease some of these regulations, and you think he's going to ease that,
well, you change the perception. You don't want business to think they're at war with government, and this is what you have today. And that's one of the problems we have with our economy. And you do have a problem in the economy. You got and this proves it. This election proves it. That outside of this little island of Manhattan and maybe a few other urban centers where you have this huge wealth. I mean, you really have a lot of people that are worried about their jobs. You have a lot of skilled workmen in this country that can't work and can't produce. And I don't think Donald's saying we should put tariffs up, but that we should stop trade. But he says fair trade. And fair trade means that in many cases when you're dealing with some of these foreign countries, China and India, I mean, we can't export to them. They have these huge tariffs up. I'm oversimplifying. And we do not demand tariffs from them. And so
in other words, who wins? In that case, it's the global investor, the people with capital to invest, and the worker who winds up losing his or her job in the meantime is just the byproduct, effectively, of globalization?
Well, the byproduct really is, number one, our economy is being held up by the Federal Reserve. When you have zero interest rates, essentially, you build bubbles. You have bubbles, asset bubbles that are going to blow up. In real estate, that's starting to go now a little bit. I mean, in every area, you have these bubbles because people have nowhere to put their money, so the retirees are getting hurt in this country, as well as the skilled workers.
So you brought up the Fed. I want to ask you, watch this clip from this morning. Fed Chair Janet Yellen saying today about how she's going to work with President-elect Donald Trump. Here she is.
I was confirmed by the Senate to a 4-year term, which ends at the end of January of 2018, and it is fully my intention to serve out that term.
Okay, so she's saying she's going to stick around. What are your thoughts on Janet Yellen, and how do you think she's going to be received by Donald Trump in light of this overly aggressive Fed you mentioned?
I think Janet Yellen has done what she could to try to hold up this economy, but I think they should have raised interest rates a year ago. And if they did that, I think that the government would have to take on more obligation, do more fiscal stimulus. You can't just have a Federal Reserve holding up this government, the economy for this long. That's my opinion.
However, do you think she raises in December, Carl?
Well, I hope so. And I'm not saying it because I have any investment in that area. I'm not an interest rate player. I dabble in it, but if anything, I didn't think they would until now. So it's not that I have I don't have a book that I'm pushing here.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
But I do hope that they raise it. I think that you have to raise interest rates in this country. or you're going to have a bubble that's really going to be bad.
We're already seeing interest rates go up just on the news that Donald Trump is going to be going into the White House with the expectation of lower taxes, less regulation, and the economic prosperity, hopefully, that will all unleash. What's your thought on the market right now? I'm looking right now, we're up about 3 points on the Dow, so pretty much hugging the flat line. But we've been hitting new highs. We're definitely looking at 19,000 within sight, Carl.
Yeah.
What do you think about equities? What do you think about?
Well, I look at it as you know, when they went down 1,000 points the night he was elected, it was ridiculous, and I bought stock then. Not that I'm so smart at trading. I'm not a trader really, but now I think it's run ahead of itself somewhat. Yeah. But you know, no one can pick the market. I mean, it's almost a ridiculous.
It's ahead
game.
of itself. What, they got overly optimistic and they just kind of need to wait and see?
Yeah, I think so. But you know, I think look. Donald's got to do some stuff that's going to be tough, and there are going to be bumps along the road. I don't think anybody would doubt that. So you're going to see bumps, you're going to see criticism and questions. But if Donald does what he says, which he should, you're going to see that. But you have to do that, and it's going to be tough. And the great presidents were able to say, I don't give a damn what you say. I'm doing what I do. And I hope Donald surrounds himself with loyalists that are going to be on his team. And gets it done. And I think he has the personality and the intelligence to do it.
Yeah, you guys actually remind me a lot of each other in some ways.
Yeah, in some ways.
You're your own man, and I mean that in a positive way. All right, Carl.
I think there's some truth to that. You know, we stand up against the establishment somewhat. Yeah.
Yeah. Carl, always a pleasure to talk to you, sir.